Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to another video. So the next few days, we were dealing with Mars in Aries conjoined the North Node. So this weekend being sort of 18th, 19th, is set to be perhaps a bit of a supercharged, potentially volatile weekend. We've got Mars in Aries continuing. We're halfway through the cycle. So Mars first burst into Aries on the very early May, and we're going to be dealing with it till about June 10. So as you know, Mars in Aries is about a once in every 2-year journey. What makes this particular Mars in Aries cycle really potent is that Mars is not only in its own sign, so it's got all the capacity to do as it pleases, it's also not being encumbered by any of the outer planets. So it's not making an aspect to Pluto. It's not making an aspect to Jupiter, Neptune, nor is it making an aspect to Uranus. So it's not really being encumbered by anything. So that in of itself is bringing Aries like a pure shot of that martial energy. So at 14 degrees this weekend, Mars is going to conjoin the North Node. So it is going to be activating the area of the eclipse that happened back in April. So you might remember the solar eclipse. We also had Mercury retrograde through the sign of Aries, and it's stationed direct at 16 degrees. So just a couple of degrees shy of this conjunction. So there does feel like there's a little bit of a throwback or a reactivation of events, circumstances, or situations that sort of got flared up during April. April was a month and a half, wasn't it? It certainly was a big one. When you see Mars conjoin the North Node in any birth chart, you are going to see a sort of an ambitious energy, a lot of heat, hunger. What's the next peak to climb? Mars is that planet of motivation, of action, defend and protect. It's anger, it's aggression, it's what gets you out of bed in the morning is a very Marsy type of idea. Now, of course, when we're talking about the nodes, there's two levels. There's lots of levels to the nodes. I've actually got a webinar on planets conjoin the nodes in the birth chart and giving you a deep sort of philosophical take on the nodes from various branches of astrology, then going through what it means to have a planet conjoined either node. I'll pop a link below if you're interested in that. But one of the things that I see time and time again when I think about the nodes, the signs they hold, that's going to show you a little bit more of perhaps the psychological or personality dynamics that we're dealing with. So in Aries and Libra, we're dealing with togetherness and independence, the we and the me, or the me and the I. We're dealing with diplomacy and issues of balance and tact versus perhaps indiscriminate headfirst or impulsive action. So the balance of relationships to other people, to other things, and our relationships to different topics in our life is highlighted. Now, where the nodes are placed by sign, either in your natal chart or via transit with this particular one in Aries, is going to show you where that action takes place. So with Mars and Aries conjoined, sorry, Mars and the North Node conjoined in Aries, you're getting almost like a pure shot, a pure dose of adrenaline, energy, and action, impulsiveness, aggression, the act first, think later, probably maybe not even think at all. It's very inflamed. So there might be that risk that you need to take. Maybe the action you've been avoiding, you finally get the impetus to make a move or go ahead with it. That can be a positive thing in some areas of life. It could potentially land you in hot water in others. Of course, it's really going to depend on varying circumstances. The thing with Mars is it doesn't like to be in second place, and that's even more the case when we're dealing with it conjoined the North Node. So there's a hunger, there's an ambition, there's a desire. It's very, very strong. And in Aries, it's sort of like Aries waits for no man, right? So Aries wants to go fast. But the reminder is you'll get to where you want to go fast with Mars. Aries conjoin the North Node, but you will go further if you go somewhere together. So that might be the balance this weekend, because when I share the screen for this conjunction that takes place at 14, it also, by default, the North Node is always going to oppose the South, but we also have an activation from the moon in Libra. So the moon has just passed this nodal axis. So it is going to make the potential situations that transpire this weekend more emotional. Maybe the moon is going to seek to try and relate to something or someone, and Aries all but flips you the bird. So this is going to really, it's a bit eggshelly vibe, to be honest. Tender emotions with the South Node and the moon. The South Node and the moon is, it's hungry for different things than what Mars is. Mars is ambitious and hungry, whereas the moon with the South Node is more about not wanting to be coddled or taken care of, or letting go. But with being ruled by Venus in her own sign, and that is on Algol, that's adding another level of complication there. So when I think about this, think about what got stirred up in April. Think about what's been stirred up or agitated since the arrival of the nodes in Aries and Libra back in July of 2023. The nodes, to me, the old school washing machines that have the agitator in the middle? You don't see them as much anymore, but that's what the nodes do. They agitate things. They cleanse things, which is very South Nodal, so you can wear those garments again, sort of like new. So do think about what's particularly got agitated for you in October and again in April, as per where the nodes are. This weekend, we're going to have another significant but fleeting activation of that. So it might be about, okay, what action have you been avoiding, hoping to, maybe turn away from, deny, avoid, which is all very South Nodal, escape away from. And it's got to a tipping point or a turning point where you have to take action on the thing, where you're not going to take a situation lying down anymore. And you may have to confront it. You may have to go into battle with it in some way, shape, or form. You might have to almost go where angels fear to tread, right? Confrontation is going to be a thing. Jordan Peterson says he doesn't enjoy combative dialogue, but he would rather disagreements avoided are disagreements multiplied. And so if there's something that's been lingering, something that's been building momentum that you've been ignoring, this weekend you might want to slay the proverbial dragon or confront something. And looking to where Aries is in your birth chart is going to be the place to look towards. So for everyone, that's going to be different. But it might have to step outside a comfort zone, attack a problem, go for the jugular kind of thing. And Mars, as I said, it's not encumbered by anything right now. And I'm always sort of looking forward with astrology in terms of what's coming up next in our Aries parts of our chart. And it might seem like a long bow to draw right now, but it's not going to be long until we have Saturn in Aries, till we have Neptune in Aries. So there's something like there's a method in the cosmic order, or there's a method in the madness to have the North Node here now. It's asking us to tackle something. It's asking us to be more independent or individual, or not let the diplomacy or being too diplomatic or too nice or too compromising turn us away from the action that we need to really be taking. Because when Neptune goes in there, and that'll happen, I'll have as something I prepared earlier. That'll be from March 30 to October 22 next year. So we'll get that initial preview energy. So that's going to be confusing. That's going to really fog up and add a level of a lack of clarity to our not our Neptune, our Aries house. In addition to that, we'll have a preview period of Saturn, who is in detriment, or sorry, I should say in fall in Aries from May 25 to September 1. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there coming in our Aries houses. So there's something about this energy, Mars in Aries, which we're not going to get again for 2 years, is really going to help us to go, okay, well, what challenges do I need to overcome? What do I need to tackle? What do I need to face head on with bravery, with courage, with conviction? Like, put the armor plating on if need be, protect yourself, but go into battle. Okay. Mars in Aries is very much like Russell Crowe in The Gladiator, going in. Are you not entertained? The North Node, look at me, look at a great warrior that I am. Somewhere in our life this weekend, we may have to challenge an area of our life, go into the fray, go into battle, defeat something, someone, and that might come at an emotional cost or a letting go of some other area. But as JP says, conflict not confronted multiplies. Once Saturn and Neptune come in there for those longer term cycles, that might be where the multiplication happens. So there's something to this energy that says, get your battles in order, fight the ones that are important, put some battles back if you've got too many on your plate now. So the sharp sword of Aries is, choose what's worth your time, what's worth your energy, what's worth your effort. Eliminate anything else that's past its use by date. If you're tired of the compromise, tired of the people pleasing, you sort of don't give a shite anymore, do this. So there is a little bit of come at me, bro, energy with this. And I'm here for it, like, let's be honest. So that's the weekend. So I'd love to hear your experiences. It could potentially be a little bit explosive in some of our lives. So do look to the houses that Aries and Libra rule. What do you need to confront that you've been in denial about or avoiding? Okay. There's also healing there. Sometimes we don't want to confront things because we fear a reaction or we're afraid of upsetting the apple cart. More often than not, though, it gives us the opportunity to gain clarity, to get perspective, to know what's important, to know what the pathway is. Mars in Aries on the North Node is direct as all get out. So why keep things taking up rent-free space in your energy? Slay the dragon. It's nodes we're talking about after all, and you'll gain respect for it. So if you've been, pandering around something or avoiding something, get your respect back. Be the warrior. Be the individual. Be the person who's not taken, crap from no one, and stand up for yourself. That's basically the energy of Mars and the North Node in Aries. Now, just a quick announcement before I say goodbye. June 6th, the Contemporary Astrology Program. So straight from the houses all the way through to the aspects. Year 1, you'll get a really in-depth, broad perspective of planets, of houses, essential dignities, aspects, how to prioritize all these things after 20 years of doing it. So I'd love to share my wisdom and experience with you. If you're already relatively seasoned and can sort of make your way through a birth chart, you might like to consider the Golden Circle, because that's where we kind of go beyond the basics and really dive into the astrology as it happens each and every month. So if you're more interested in getting involved in my astrological community over on the Cas.com app on the Golden Circle, I'll pop links below. There's also the webinar on the nodes where I take you through all of the planets conjunct either the north or the south. And then, of course, there's the Contemporary Astrology Program too, which I'm really excited to take on a new group of students. It's a really great time to be learning astrology with Jupiter and Gemini, separating and combining the technical and the philosophical. So until next time, I'd love to hear your battles. What did you confront this weekend? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.